It's the end of the world as we know it. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment. This was War of the Worlds, and this absolutely was almost the end of the world because aliens have came down in this Tom Cruise classic. Welcome back to the channel, and yeah, we've got Morgan Freeman narrating, which I think when Morgan Freeman's narrating, it's always a decent thing to have. I mean, I do think the guy's very one dimensional. I'm not going to shy away from saying that. I think that. But, I mean, we are introduced to Ray Ferrier, who is, of course, played by Tom Cruise, and he's got his ferrites. And I say his ferrites, he's got his daughter and son. And I really think they almost single handedly ruined this movie for Tom Cruise for me. Like, I enjoyed the concept, but by God, could his ex wife not just have left these two at home that weekend? Because Jesus, man, I get it. In these movies, it's better. I do think it's better to have like your main character have to look out for his family. But why make his kids so annoying? Anyway, so his kids gets dropped off, and then they start getting thunder and lightning. But they're like, that's really weird lightning, and there's no thunder. So what's going on here? Attack of the aliens. All the cars stop working. Turns out Robbie hijacked his dad's car. He drove off. He's like, Dad, it's round the corner. And as Ray goes round to get it, this big alien creature has shot out of the ground, working a tripod like big massive robot thing. Turns out the bolts of lightning were in fact aliens being shot into the ground to work machines that they had buried there millions of years ago. Smart for the aliens, but I mean, realistically, they could have just flew down with them, could they not have? It's not the most impossible task in the world, so to speak. And then at this point, we see people just getting evaporated, turned into dust. Tom Cruise manages to get back to the house, and he gets his like car to work via the mechanic, and then he jumps in it with Rachel and Robbie after they pack a few things. He packs his gun, but I don't think a wee revolver is going to be doing much to stop these aliens. He then tells the mechanic to jump in. The mechanic guy doesn't jump in, and then he ends up getting killed by the aliens. They drive, they escape the city. I can't even remember what city we were in at the beginning of this movie, to be honest. And then we go to the ex-wife's house, but they're not there, of course, because they're at her parents, and she's also expecting a child. And then a plane crashes during the night, absolutely brutally. Then goes outside, he meets like a reporter team, and then he kind of discovers like how bad the current situation is, and it's not looking too good. The aliens are taking over. His daughter and his son then jump in the minifan, and then as they're driving, they have to stop to go to the toilet, and they're just all they're doing is complaining and moaning and crying throughout this entire thing. And then we see the army drive past him, and his son's like, "We need to go join the army, Dad." And his dad's like, "No." Tom Cruise is like, "No, my name's Ray. You're not going, son. You're actually gay." I was like, whoa, blatant homophobia there for Tom Cruise. Couldn't actually believe he said that. I've totally made that up. So go call the RSPCA, brother. And then I think the most ridiculous part of the movie is they get this like ferry crossing. They get onto the boat, and as they get onto the boat, it turns out the aliens in the water. It sinks the boat. Then they're running a bit more. Then we get to this part where they're over the hill, and his son just keeps running. Robbie Ferrier. He's like, "Robbie!" Then he tells Rachel to hide behind a tree. He's like, "I'll come back and get you in a minute." And two awful things happen here. First off, his son is so adamant that he has to go fight in this war. It's like, you're a scrawny teenager that, well, it is America, to be fair. A scrawny teenager in America would love to hold a gun and do something to his classmates. So anywhere else in the world, maybe not. But this guy's just not made for the army. It's almost cringy how he goes for like a shitebag teenager to automatically wanting to help humanity fight against all these aliens and shit. But anyway, each to their own, I guess. And then Tom Cruise, what does he do? He runs back to his daughter, who was actually almost on the verge of getting kidnapped. She's like, "No, my family's over there." And like, "No, we gotta keep you." It's like, what? These two randomers almost kidnapping this child? Absolutely mental. Because like, why are they even doing this? Like, it just felt so forced and cringy. It's like, "Oh no!" And then Tom Cruise runs back. "Oh no, it's my daughter! Don't kidnap her!" It's like, what? What's going on? We then meet Harlan Ogilvy, who, of course, we all know from the Shawshank Redemption He's a bit mad. I mean, essentially, Tom Cruise has to kill this guy to keep them alive. I mean, it seemed a wee bit unnecessary. I guess he could have just fucking left this guy's house instead of killing him. But here, he killed him. So, it is what it is. His daughter then ends up getting took by the aliens after this. I mean, I know I've just completely glossed over the guy's scene, which was a pretty big part. But I can't be arsed. It was alright. There's nothing really much more for me to say about that part. But then Tom Cruise, he's fighting the aliens, but they don't want him. They only want his daughter for some reason. And then he manages to take a grenade, but then they put them in the pod. So we've got about 20, maybe about 25 people in each pod. Tom Cruise has got a big group of grenades here. And what does Tom Cruise do with his big group of grenades? It picks him next. He saves his daughter, he takes the grenades, and it destroys the alien, damn it. They finally managed to kill an alien after all this time. And then due to this, the aliens think, well, fuck, that we are weak, we are going to get destroyed. Essentially, humanity wins, and then they reunite it with his son and the ex-wife, and now her new husband. Da, 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 da. There was also like weird scenes like where the aliens were trying to like completely change the Earth, like all this red stringy shit. Change it into an eco planet or whatever. But it's an alright movie, but it's the Tom Cruise doesn't really play the best character in it. He's like a bit of a scumbag himself, and his kids are even worse. 6 out of 10 for me.